Good morning. I was born and raised in San Jose back when it was farmland. And despite the fact that my parents were successful and provided me what I needed as a child, I became pregnant at the age of 16. And I've been on my own ever since then. A year after my son was born, we lived in our car and we relied on public assistance. However, I still managed to work towards and earn my GED. I was pretty good at math, so I went into accounting, and I worked really hard, and I was able to purchase my first home by the time I was the age of 23. My mission always was to keep my son from the heartache that we were going through at that time. A few years later, I met an amazing man who we got married. He had 4 children, 4 sons of his own. Together, we went on to have 2 additional daughters. And so I like to always say is that we have his, hers, and ours. We have 7 babies. Our oldest is 25, and our youngest is 7. So pick a number, any number, I'm sure we have one. As Silicon Valley began to change, so did my work. I progressed to be an executive assistant to CEOs and CFOs of companies such as Cisco and Apple. My husband, he's a truck driver, and although he and I both work very hard, not having our college degree has hindered us. This is not the path that we want for our children. We saw an unfortunate path with our boys, who all struggled in reading and in math. Their teachers all told us that they had special needs, but how can 5 children all have special needs? So with that, what do? We move 5 times within Santa Clara County trying to find good quality education, because that's what a parent does when they can't afford private school. We believe it's a triangle, that it's parents, students, and educators working together. And the triangle must be complete. All sides have to work together to ensure that children can succeed. I believe that the educator part of our triangle was missing for most of our children. Not one of my 5 babies went to college. And today, they work temporary jobs and in retail. One is a young father, and the other, the most heartbreaking of all, has taken a road we as parents had never imagined. And as a parent, there are few more horrific things than having to walk into juvenile hall, hearing a heavy door close behind you, and seeing your son on the other side, and knowing that there's nothing that you can do to change that. With our daughter, Daniela, we saw the pattern start again. She was a 3rd grader, and she was reading at a 1st grade reading level. Couldn't understand that. Every week, I went to her school, and a 3rd grader reading at a 1st grade reading level is a crime. It is a crime, and no one could give us answers. And even worse, we later found out that my baby, they would take away her lunch, and they would take away her recess because she couldn't read the whiteboard. It was devastating, absolutely devastating. So that same year, a family talked to us about something called Rocket Ship. We were hesitant, but we enrolled Daniela in December of the 3rd grade. And for several weeks, we observed. The moment that I knew that Rocket Ship was really different, as I walked into Daniela's 3rd grade classroom, And I saw her teacher, Miss Burry, hovered over her. And she was asking Daniela to repeat these words. I'll never forget it. I can do this. I'm worthy. I will read. My little baby arrived at rocket ship so broken, that she could barely speak at all. And she repeated it back. I was floored. I was floored to see a teacher care about my child as much as I do. Daniela said those words every day that year. And I saw her start to read. And then there was no stopping her. Last year, she graduated Rocketship as a 5th grader with honors, reading at a 6th grade reading level. I'm so proud of her. Our youngest child is a 1st grader at Rocketship, and she's reading at a 3rd grade reading level, and she already knows she's going to college. I had to make sure that Daniela's progress didn't go in vain. So, unfortunately, there's not a lot of college-bound middle schools in San Jose. So I mobilized other families with similar stories, such as Mars. We founded a school by the name of Alpha Blanca Alvarado Middle School to ensure our children can remain on the path to college. Rocketship saw my passion, and they asked to hire me as the parent liaison. Last month, I had the honor and the privilege to be elected school board official to the Alum Rock School District by my community. Now, I have the honor and the privilege not only to serve my children and my family, but also the families in my community. I found my calling. I'm a woman who at the age of 16 had a baby and was on a path to being a statistic. But instead, I fight tooth and nail every day to ensure families do not and are not forgotten as we were. And I have Rocketship to thank for that. And I have all of you to thank for that, for helping me to now change my story. Thank you.